Hey, color purple. Hey, Arjun. Hey, Vanna. Hey, Allison. Watching a video about animatronics. Cool, cool. Animatronics are fun. I suppose I'll get the joke out of the way now. I was watching a video about your mom. I'll just get the your mom joke out of the way now, just so it's over, done with. I do? Yeah. Surviving still. Surviving. Anaconda? I have not watched Anaconda. Hey, Harlem. Your mom said pictures last longer. She would know. Because she's a dirty okay. I'm sorry. That's going a little far, I think. Hey, PK. I was still having them asleep or about to leave the house. Sorry, PK. Clearly, then, PK, you should just never sleep and never leave the house. Clearly. That's the solution here. Never sleep, never leave the house. Don't know if I love or hate submerging animatronics. I like them overall. Cool robots. Yep. They are cool. Exactly, PK. Base your life around the times that I may or may not go live. Hey, Ghostface. R.I.P. Dumbledore and John Kennedy. Ah. Oh, hey, Anunnaki. I never watched the Harry Potter movies, so I don't really care about him as Dumbledore. I don't know if I've seen him in it. I don't know if I watched that dude in anything else. So, yeah. Dumbledore, means nothing to me. Hey, Joel. Though I did see that Harry Potter was voted as like the best opening line in all of fiction. And it's like, you know, it's not a bad opening line. It's a decent opening line. But the best in fiction? Read another fucking book, you goddamn losers. Like, the people who voted Harry Potter as having the best opening line in fiction, it's because Harry Potter is the only book they've ever fucking read. It's like, it's like, dudes. What's the line? I don't even remember. These people at this address want you to know they're very normal, thank you very much, or something like that. Hey, Comic Brook. I like that. I mean, it's a decent opening line. I have nothing. Hey, Scriptgoat. I have nothing against that opening line itself. It's just the best in fiction. The best ever. Like, no. Look who the goat dragged in. Give it a few more minutes before we get started. And before we get finished. We are finishing this goddamn game today. I don't care what it takes. We're finishing this game. We're finishing this tonight. Whatever it takes. 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, I don't fucking care. We're finishing it. Hey, Jordan. I mean, I was paraphrasing then. I only saw it briefly for the first time today. I just saw the line for the first time today. So, obviously, I did not memorize it. Miss Co's wedding at the beach because I'm at the actual beach. Oh, hey. Nice, Jordan. I mean, I assume. I don't like beaches. I don't much care for beaches myself, but I hope you're having a wonderful time. LARPing. LARPing our life yet. We're just here to step into our life. Well, I'm sorry you'll miss the wedding, Jordan. Your presence will be missed. You'll miss the cake, which probably won't actually be shown anyway. The timing is immaculate. Thought they were window seals. We'll need to start over from the very beginning. No. Like, I mean, it's possible I might play through this game at some point, again, on my own. But on stream, never again. Never again on stream for this game. It's way too long for that. I'm curious if anyone else ever played this game. Yeah, somebody did. Looks like a couple people might have played it. Did get sand in my crack, and I thought of you. Play it again and do a chaotic evil route. See, a person named Blue Flame Entertainment did a let's play of it. 36 episodes. They got through it in 36 episodes. Most of them anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour long. The wedding DLC took them 5.5 hours to get through. 5.5 hours it took them to get through the wedding DLC. Everything else, like I said, it's usually like 30 minutes to an hour for most of it. Tell Cove, I said, may his cakes be unusual and his blushing be eternal. Looks like this lady never finished her Let's Play. Wedding. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Steve. Yes, wedding DLC. Alright, so a few people did play it. I was just curious. Alright, so, yeah, let's get going. Hey, Connor. So let us get started. So yeah, slowly, you exited the car, went forward, and finally took in the first sight of your ceremony. And here it is. Poppy Hill. The quite literal backdrop of your childhood, forever nestled behind the home you grew up in. And the place where you found a sad little wavy-eyebrowed boy years ago. There shouldn't be any penises. The distant scent of the sea carried up on the wind mixed with the gentle floral fragrance from the poppies. It was comfort you couldn't get anywhere else. The ceremony's decorations consisted only of a white arch on the crest of the hill, but it didn't need anything more than that. Your hill was perfect just the way it was. That is very pretty. It's just like... It is, like, it's a very pretty scenery, and yeah, I mean, there really doesn't need to be any more, decoration, really. Jamie. Your planner had immediately been informed of your arrival and came to greet you right on schedule. Hi, Steve.
Good afternoon.
How good to see you again, and so soon after the last time. He tilted his head in your direction casually while chuckling. As simple as the comment was, you laughed along easily. It was a wonderful day, and every second was one to enjoy. Then all presence of casualness for the day left Baxter's poise. A bright fire lit up his dark eyes.
Now?
It's showtime. Let's get into our proper positions. The wedding parties are being led up to the front where they'll stand by, while guests are getting directed to open places to stand in the audience area. Hey, pink season. Minimalist weddings should make a comeback. Nature is beautiful and free. Exactly.
Does that sound alright?
Jamie, please go back further with me so you can be ready for the aisle walk. I'll send Cove over next. On the promise of being reunited with Cove, you let yourself be led away by Baxter. You only had to hold on a little longer, then you'd get to see him. Not feeling Baxter belt? No, I don't see what's wrong with his belt. You bent back down the bend, and there was an eager hastiness to your pace. A corner was turned, separating you off from the main scene. Good luck, Jamie. I'll congratulate you when it's over. Baxter trusted you enough to handle the rest, and waved coyly over his shoulder as he left. He had to handle more of the arrangements behind the scenes, so that you and Cove could have your spotlights. You stood there alone, foot tapping, resisting the urge to pace. You'd never been more grateful for how quickly Baxter worked, when only a minute later you heard someone approach. Beautiful, but I feel like the terrain may be difficult for Cove walking in heels. At long last, what you'd been anticipating came to be. You saw him again. Cove Holden. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking kind of stylish. I'll give him that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Without a word, Cove lifted his arm for you to take. His blue eyes were crystal clear. You could see your future together sparkling within them. Seeing him like that, completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking. You wrapped your arm with his gleefully, creating a secure link. The touch coaxed one of his precious wobbly smiles onto his face, though he still couldn't say a full word. My trans? I intend to transition at some point. An assistant joined in only briefly to hand Cove the delicately crafted white poppy bouquet you had designed with him. This is a joke. I genuinely feel like I've got something in this eye, but I don't think I do. I'm honestly not sure. Social transition whenever they're ready. Puberty blockers when they're approaching puberty. If they want. Puberty blockers when they're ready. When, they and the doctor decide on it, and then hormone therapy whenever the kid and the doctor agree that it's appropriate. It's okay to cry. I mean, it's entirely possible that I will, comic book. I wouldn't be surprised if I do tear up. This isn't me tearing up. This is me just yeah. Anyway, hand Cove the delicately crafted white poppy bouquet you had designed with him. He grasped it with his free hand, though not without it almost falling through his fingers, then pressed it against his chest protectively. I think 7 years old is an acceptable age of transition. For social transition, yes. At 7, it's social transition. That's all that's happening at 7. There's no drugs, surgeries, anything like that happening at 7 years old. It's entirely about name, pronouns, clothes, hair. It's social shit. Okay, to get hormone therapy and puberty blockers at 13. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that is what the kid and the doctors feel is appropriate, then sure. It's not like it's being just assigned willy-nilly. I mean, the kid would have, like, any child who's getting any sort of hormonal treatment, they've talked to therapists. They've been in therapy for a while. They've been obviously thinking about it for a long time. Happy birthday, J-Dot. We missed you yesterday. Yesterday was your birthday stream, J-Dot. I named it. I called it I called yesterday's stream Happy Birthday J-Dot. But then you didn't even show up. You missed your birthday stream. Instead, you get a wedding stream. The assistant made their exit while you let yourself enjoy the gentle perfume coming off the bouquet. It was sweet and beautiful, reminding you of Cove. Oh. You peeked at him from past the petals. He was watching you too. While waiting in the wings, footsteps, the distant chatter of a crowd, the heavy breathing of your partner, and your own heartbeat pattered in your ears. Your eyes closed as you strained to hear the cue above the rest of the noise. But there was no need. You knew the moment had arrived when everything in the distance went silent. It even felt as though your heart froze in place, not wanting to be the one thing to interrupt. Hey, Celtic Forest. The first note was struck. Cove's hold on you tightened into a trembling squeeze. And that was all you needed to move forward. You began to walk forward with the love of your life. He was right there by your side. His legs were shaking too, and from the corner of your eyes you could see his cheeks were wet with heavy tears. I mean, that was kind of tempted as well. Hilary Duff as well. Neat. Tempted to go with this one. Get to the end already. You'd never beamed brighter. You watched as his mouth opened then closed, as if he was speaking to you. Though, if he was saying actual words, they were too quiet to hear. Cove's watery smile yet. The crowd was full of joyous smiles and loving glances, but no one made a move to distract you or Cove from each other. You wouldn't have noticed if they had tried. All you were aware of in the entire world was the wonderful man holding desperately onto your arm. And how, on one of your shared strides, his knee locked and Cove stumbled. You rooted yourself in place, pulling up against Cove to keep him from falling completely. He leaned into you, and you both swayed to the side, but he stayed on his feet. The two of you straightened yourselves out and kept going. You were equally committed to reaching the end of the aisle. It may not have been graceful, but to you it was beautiful. And you made it. When you arrived, you loosened your hold on one another to change positions. You stood in front of him face to face. Someone needs to get this man a Kleenex. Probably. Softly, Cove's lips parted again, and finally, that time you knew what it was. Your name.
Jamie.
He shifted the bouquet's weight over so he could use one hand to caress your cheek. He brought his head lower to be closer to yours, his fingers advancing further to touch the edge of your ears. You felt overjoyed, and you pressed your forehead against his. The delicate way he held you brought so much comfort. Full of love and gratefulness, you nuzzled against the one person who impacted you in such a way. A hush came over the crowd as the justice of the peace began to speak. It was time. You know, see, we're not talking about that shit tonight, Steve. We're focusing on the wedding tonight. We're not getting into politics tonight. The ceremony speech flowed over you. You listened to each word, but sentences faded out of focus the second they had passed. It was like being in a comfortable dream. There was a safe sense of distance from the world as your consciousness drifted around within it. What did break through to you were Ko's bashful gestures. Shuffling feet, quivering eyes, a palatable nervous energy that was barely swallowed down. Not one single movement went by unnoticed. Before you could completely lose yourself in Cove's gaze, your attention crystallized in an instant. The justice of the peace had said vows. It struck Cove as well because his knees visibly locked from underneath him. In slow motion, he began to tip backwards. You instinctively grabbed onto his wrists, pulling on his sleeves in an attempt to keep your beloved from leaning further. Numerous sets of arms rose from all around, as both of your wedding parties poised themselves to catch Cove if he fell their way. That's kind of funny. Knock it off, Steve. We're not talking about that shit tonight. Derek took it an extra step further by actually stepping forward. He made certain he could get hold of his friend if he came down. Cove regained control of his legs and caught himself by anchoring back on the ball of his right foot. He kept that firmly planted. He was still so absorbed in the moment that the notion to be embarrassed by his near faint didn't take up any space in his mind. As if it hadn't happened, at least for Cove. The justice of the peace, however, lifted a brow, assessing if your groom was physically capable of completing the ceremony. For all his trembling, Cove stood stiffly, a pillar that could not be moved. It was enough to appease your justice of the peace into continuing. The couple has chosen to prepare their own vows, and they will share them now. Cove Holden, please begin. Well, that's Steve gone. He took in a long breath through his nose. After so much build-up to the wedding and all the effort that it took to create it, this was the final hurdle for him, articulating his deepest feelings about you out loud. Cove looked into your brown eyes, searching for the words he needed. You waited, impressing as much encouragement as he could into your gaze. Finally, Cove began his vows.
Jamie.
We met when we were 8 years old. And, well, I wanted to run away to Nevada somehow that first summer I moved into the neighborhood. Truthfully, I planned to do it before my dad and I had even made it to Sunset Bird. It didn't matter what it was going to be like. How could it ever be okay? But I saw you the first day I was there, and nothing went the way I thought. You changed everything in my life. He sunk lower into himself sheepishly, and offered a goofy grin.
Well...
I did still make an attempt in my child mind genius, but it was just going to be for a visit. I grunted. And you came to find me. You tracked me down all the way to the end of the town. Oh goody, I'm gonna have to deal with some shitty-ass fucking troll the entire time I'm doing this live. Fucking wonderful. I'm playing a silly little fucking game. Leave me the fuck alone. Christ. You were the person I needed when I was so little and so lonely, and you still are the one I need right now. You and me are a couple of rotten eggs forever. Every far-off image playing out in his mind brought further joy to Ko's features. He laughed nostalgically. You didn't let me get away with being selfish when I would act out. You were there for me when I was actually upset.
Thank you.
I got to have a childhood thanks to you. You didn't let me lose it all because I was sad. I had someone I could make those memories I cherish with. Making sandcastles, watching the clouds, catching fireflies and everything else.
I'm so glad.
I was still amazed how we kind of got together when we were just 13. He tugged at his collar while bouncing on his feet, the exact picture of a giddy schoolboy. I will say, I do wish that they had gotten voice acting for this section. Yes, Steve, this game is called Our Life, Beginnings and Always. That's the full name of the game. Our Life, Beginnings and Always. Yeah, I think that it would have been really nice if they'd done full voice acting for this bit. Part of it, I assume, is because there were, some of it is just optional stuff. But we kissed, and it was wonderful. But even still, when puberty happened, so many things seemed harder than before. I'll bet something got harder with puberty. God damn it. It's this nice, sweet scene, and I'm fucking ruining it by being 13. I'm just ruining this beautiful moment by acting like a goddamn child. I'm definitely glad you were around to help me survive it all. Especially my, in hindsight painfully obvious, crush on you. That felt unbearable to me, and I bet it was probably frustrating to everyone who was watching too. I could barely manage sitting next to you on a bed. Thank God that hormonal nightmare didn't screw things up for me. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of hoping to screw things up for you. If you know what I mean. I mean sex. Genuine relief came out from Cove and Asai. But I don't know how I was supposed to act normal when you'd look at me so nicely with such beautiful eyes. He began to get taken into them as he spoke, his own eyes growing hazy and his smile wobbling. Cove shook his head to force himself out of the self-inflicted trance. That was the time I started sneaking out to visit you through the window. I wanted to be with you when I was happy, or when something was wrong. I couldn't stay away. Lucky for me, you didn't mind spending your days or nights in my company. With a light touch of wistfulness, Cove recalled experience after experience from those years. Going on trips together, big ones and small ones. Just hanging around our houses in the neighborhood, talking about who we were as people. And that time there was a sun shower. We'd stick together during parties, and you could even make it fun from someone as socially awkward as I am. Of course, the way you use the noisemaker at Jeremy will always be incredible. Actually, you've always been there for me when I had to deal with other kids at parks. As he continued to reminisce, he chuckled adorably. This is a fucking long-ass vow! These are some long-ass goddamn vows! Get to the point, dude!
Well...
And I started getting closer with your family, too. Well, at least your mom's. Elizabeth wasn't exactly interested in being good friends when we were teens. My camera's messed up. Okay. Is it? Axe wounds in the nether? Can I say, I genuinely don't understand. Like, this is a fucking silly-ass little game. What? I don't get why people are harassing me on this video, on this live. I don't get the harassment that's going on right now. What is the fucking point in harassing somebody who's playing a silly little fucking game? How fucking pathetic is your life that this is how you decide to have fun? How fucking shitty a person are you that you see someone trying to have a good time playing a cute little visual novel and you decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start spamming the fucking N-word. What the fuck kind of shitty ass piece of shit person are you? Just Jesus Christ, go away. Go watch something else. Go watch something that you enjoy watching. Go watch The Wire. Go rewatch The Wire, okay? That's what I want you... all the people who are harassing you right now, that's what I want you to do. I want you to go and rewatch The Wire. I say rewatch because I'm assuming most of them have watched The Wire to begin with because it was a really popular show. But go watch The Wire. I've never watched it myself, but I've heard that it's really good, okay? I have heard that it's a really good show. So, go watch The Wire. Yeah. Or I don't know, what's another good show? What's a show that's really good right now? I don't watch anything. The only thing I watch is Star Trek, so I don't really know what's good right now. what shows are really popular right now? And like really critically acclaimed? What's a show that is currently critically acclaimed? Hey, Zekros. Long time? Has been. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. Yellow Jackets? Go watch Yellow Jackets. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Zekros. Succession? Yeah, watch Succession. That show just ended, right? Didn't that show just end? Yeah. Watch Succession. That show just ended, so it's, whatever. Go play some Super Mario Brothers. Oh, come on, Super Mario. You have to love Super Mario Brothers. Go play some Super Mario. Go play some Mario. Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario Soccer, Mario... whatever. Mario makes everything fun. Go play Mario. Leave me alone and go play Mario. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate that you always put up with my parents and their wild plans, by the way. Cove ran a hand down his face tiredly, though the amused smile on his face wasn't wiped away. Hey, Kitty Commander. And speaking of wild plans, I sure got upset when you told me about how my dad offered you $20 to be friends when we were kids, huh?
That's...
I feel bad now that I yelled at him. He wasn't trying to make things worse. It just meant a lot to me that the relationship between us was our own. I hated thinking about all the things outside of my control, all the ways the world was bigger than I knew. But I'm glad that I had the chance to talk to him about it in the end, and that we got to talk about it too. Thanks for being honest about it.
I remember.
I can still remember how badly I wanted to be grown up as an awkward tween. Then suddenly we graduated high school and it really was time to be an adult. I have no idea, Zekros. I genuinely don't know why getting my first job, taking my first long drive without parents, accepting how small our little town was in the grand scheme of things. Just trying to figure out what I was even going to do with my life. I was lost, and all I wanted was to make sure I didn't lose what mattered when things had to change. Most of all, you. You were my special someone. You were the first person I was able to open up to about my sexuality when I finally knew for sure what that was. And you were the one who helped me keep it together when I was overthinking things. Hey, Connor. His speech of all that he treasured about you went on and on in an uninterrupted stream. He couldn't stop himself. I could talk to you about anything, like the accident when I got my scar. I knew you would understand. And as mundane and drudging adult stuff could be, I had a source of relief from it because you had been around. You always gave the best gifts. You love me even though I'm not a cool merman who could take you on a magical adventure.
Thanks for waiting for me.
And you lived with how long it took for me to be able to do anything romantic. I was feeling a lot and didn't do great at managing it. But I was so clingy, too. I never wanted to be apart then. I think I'm a little more of a big boy about it now. Maybe?
Huh.
He at long last continued to breathe, before his emotion-driven attempt to convey himself continued in full force. You make me happy in ways no one else ever could. And, well, a lot has happened, huh? We're definitely adults. I fell in love with you. We're at our own wedding.
It's okay.
We made it through it all. All the months and months growing up, and through making this day happen. Though with how nervous I was, I think I might have worried the planner that I would convince you to elope just to get away from it all. But you took the pressure in stride. I love that you're so reassuring. You're such a charming human being. I don't want to try to imagine how many tears you've wiped away from me in all these years. You helped me have the confidence to grow into a man, and you can still make me feel like a kid again. PG? Is it a PG stream? I will try, Connor. I will try not to. I mean, I've made inappropriate comments. You know, I've thrown in a few. The game itself is pretty PG. I would say the game itself is PG. I don't know how PG I am. I tend not to. I throw profanity here and there and make inappropriate comments and. So I'm not sure how PG I am. is how what I would say, I guess. With you, nothing ever really ends. It just begins again in a new way. And basically what I'm trying to say is, no matter how hard I try, I can never thank you enough for being mine and letting me be yours. Cove wept heavily, no longer able to stay above the wave of emotions that opening himself up so fully had wrought.
I love you.
So much, Jamie. And he futilely wiped the sleeve against his eyes. Every tear the fabric caught was immediately replaced. Those are my vows. I don't know how you're supposed to end them. I hope you'll marry me. I don't think that's a traditional way of ending a vow, but it works. Hi, Wesker. Hi, Wesker. I mean, that works. I hope you'll marry me. That works as a way to end the vow, right? Maybe he should have asked Baxter to help with the vows. Yeah, he should have been like, so could I get a little bit of help here? Hi, Snort. You giggled at the way he closed it out. It was just like him. Why is Cove still acting unsure at the literal altar? It's just like... He's not... I mean, he's nervous because he's in front of a bunch of people trying to explain his feelings. Like, he's in front of the crowd of people talking about feelings. That's stressful for an autistic person. That is not easy for an autistic person to do. Oh, that's what you mean. Hi, Griffinin. But also, it's just like, the reason for the I hope you'll marry me is just like, he just couldn't figure out what to say. I think that's what it was. He just couldn't figure out what to actually say at the end there. And your eyes were glossy. Thank you, Cove. Jamie, you may say yours. Please try to keep it under 5 minutes. The gist of the piece had all but disappeared from your mind. All that you had been aware of was Cove. But that request couldn't be ignored. Now you would have to take on the endeavor of explaining everything Cove was to you, and everything he had been to you, throughout knowing him almost your entire life. You chose to say, I want to thank you for really getting to know me, and for loving me for me. For helping me feel comfortable in my body. You've always been able to reassure me about that. For sharing your parents. They're a real perk of being with you. For being brave for me when I was scared. You're my hero. For remembering things about me, even stuff that wouldn't matter to anyone else. It matters a lot to me. For always thinking that I was worth a gold medal, even back when we were kids. For teaching me how to surf. It was so much fun. For all the times you insisted I get to bed. You're a very stubborn gentleman. Hey, PK. We're at the wedding, PK. I am giving my vows right now. Cove spent forever doing his vows. And besides that, I adore your wavy eyebrows, your laugh and your smile, the way you angrily sip at your drinks. How you rub your arm when you're nervous. How easy you are to fluster. How excited you get about food. How clingy you are. The way you're somehow always a bit of a mess. The awkward way you try flirting. That you're so open with your emotions. That adorable way you text. That you're such a troublemaker. And you simply in general. I promise to never stop trying to make you happy. To cherish everything you've given me. To wipe your tears when they fall. To always leave a window open for you. To comfort you when your anxieties make you scared. To still love you even as we both continue... Actually, to wait as long as you need for everything. To go along with your spontaneous dawn adventures. I will not kitty Commander, but that is, that is the most interesting way that anyone has ever tried to become a mod on my channel. To wear an anklet on request whenever you want. To still love you even as we both continue to grow and change. And along with that, Cove's blush had crept all the way up to his, all the way to his neck after you let yourself get carried away, listing every little detail about him that charmed you. You're my Cove. And I'm the luckiest person in the world that I get to say that. Oh my god. Cove covered his face with trembling hands. He was laughing, crying, and all around about to pass out again. Your justice of the peace nodded contently, accepting those vows as your sworn oath to your very nearly husband. Oh. Are you leaving, Zekros? You're crying? Aww. I'm not. I don't even really have tears in my eyes, really. Cove Holden, do you take Jamie Last to be your lawful wedded spouse? He let his hands fall, ready to face you directly. Oh, I didn't notice he's crying. I didn't notice he's got the tears on them. I didn't notice that Cove is crying here. He's got tears down his eyes, down his face. Hey, Black Ops. Cove's shaking, dripping wet eyes stayed locked to yours. And with the confidence of a man who'd been waiting for this moment for years, he answered with complete surety.
I do.
Hey, they did have him say it. I mean, obviously. It was absolutely heart-stopping, but your turn to respond had come. And do you, Jamie Last, take Cove Holden to be your lawful wedded husband? I do. Cove's smile was radiant, and his tears were constant. You had sincerely made him happier than anything ever had. Your best woman and Cove's best man stepped forward. They each held out a small box that contained a wedding band. Cove's hands shook as he reached for the tiny treasure chest. With a focused furrow to his brow, he accepted the rose gold ring. You gladly offered your hand to Cove. He cradled it gently in one of his own. For a few seconds, all he could do was stare at your skin. Cove was so still for a moment, but then he used his free hand to bring the band towards your fingertip. He carefully slid the ring to its proper place on your finger. Yay! Your gaze locked onto it, utterly amazed. Swallowing thickly, Cove raised his hand out for you. You held it in return and brushed your thumb across his palm. It was your turn. Still 150 to 300. What happened is people got bored of me. With that, you retrieved the matching ring from its box. It slid onto Cove's finger beautifully. It doesn't show it that way. It doesn't show me putting the ring on his hand. He gasped under his breath, fixating on the ring. You tenderly squeezed his hand, and Cove finally met your eyes again. Good to know, Blade. Good to know. Ever tried buzzballs? Do I like men? I am not attracted to men. He held your gaze with an electrifying stare. You were in awe of the whole moment. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and spouse. Snort. I like women. You can now kiss. Yeah. Drinking the coffee one and tastes like there's gasoline in it. Cove's knees may have started knocking together once more, but his gaze was nothing but eager. Strong, pretty women in suits? Indeed. You threw yourself into Cove's arms to kiss passionately. Waiting even a second longer was impossible. You sprang forward like a shot and tangled yourself around him. Your husband stumbled, but was able to keep proper hold of you, as you knew he would. Your lips connected with Cove's in an urgent expression of your love for him. He returned the kiss, just as neatly. You used a thumb to carefully push away the tears still clinging to his eyelashes. The beautiful flowers of Cove's bouquet tickled against your skin as Cove's body pressed it up against you. After, your faces shifted away just a hair's breadth so you could see one another fully. His expression was wholly adoring, and you could still feel his warmth lingering. The crowd erupted with cheers and applause around you. Giddy, you ducked your head towards Cove's shoulder and laughed. Peeking over at Cove, you realized that he was barely paying any attention to the jubilance around you both. Instead, his gaze was solely fixated on you. He linked his arm around yours. Your head tipped back in a hearty laugh. Cove's smile widened instantly, matching yours. I feel like we're babysitting right now. Happy, you leaned the side of your face into his side. You were over the moon that you'd get to spend the rest of your life with Cove by your side. You went down the aisle gleefully. As you passed by your friends and family, you got several thumbs up, proud nods, and cheery waves. Some were even still clapping. Sniffling, your vision threatened to fill with tears after witnessing more than a handful of people dabbing their eyes with tissues. When you briefly came close enough to Mr. Holden, he patted Cove on the shoulder. Despite his weepy expression, you could tell that he had the greatest pride for his son. You blew kisses to the crowd. The kisses you blew out to your guests were met with new rounds of cheers and whistles. After leaving the ceremony in late afternoon, it was time for wedding photos. You and Cove met up with the wedding party and the photographer, while the other guests headed over to the reception spot. The excursion was filled with fun and laughter, while the photographer set out to get the ideal shots. Cove lovingly held your face, not afraid to show his affection in front of the camera for a change. His thumb brushed lightly across your cheek, and then he pressed his forehead to yours. His breath was warm on your skin, and you closed your eyes shut to relish it in his love. When he pulled away, you were speechless. But you also had a feeling that was going to be one of the best shots of the lot. When the sun began to set about an hour later, you knew it was time to rejoin with everyone else. And so, you eagerly got back into the car again to finally see the second location. And yeah, here's the beach. Here's the beach reception. That's very nice. That's very pretty. And it's covered, so if it starts to rain, there's no reason for anybody to start jumping over tables. Give me a second. I do have to blow my nose. Give me a second. Hey, alien tourist. So yeah, it's covered. So who's got two thumbs and isn't getting crushed under a table? Tiny elephant? You and Cove took a turn down the main path. There, your friends and family were patiently waiting for this moment. The room filled with familiar cheers, whistles, and applause at your arrival. As the noise lessened, you began to hear various calls of congrats and welcome backs. The love emanating from your friends and family was palpable. Baxter made his way to the center of the area and began to gesture people back. The rest of the staff followed his lead and made space in the crowd. When the path ahead cleared out, you took a deep breath. It was time. The beginning note of your first dance song played. You heard a few of the guests speak in hushed tones, anticipation rising as the melody kicked in. Gotta be slow-paced. What's the point of the game? There's no real point, it's about growing up. Like, it's just a game about growing up, really. The point is just a cute story. To cure boredom? I mean, kinda, yeah, basically. Ice Spice for the first dance. It was slow-paced. I mean, that feels like you gotta, like, that feels, the first dance, it's just, you do a slow-paced dance. Especially because he doesn't know how to dance, so slow-paced, I figure keep it a little bit easier for him as well. Cove met your eyes, as ready as he could be, and you took his hands. You heard the high-pitched whine of a microphone, and saw Baxter smiling. And now, the couple will have their first dance. You eagerly led Cove to the dance floor, mood still sky-high. Cove did his best to remember the motions that were meant to go with the rhythm of the track. His long, deliberate steps were very careful to not land anywhere near your toes. Ice Spice on 0.5. Your dance lessons were worth it. You performed beautifully, and mentally said thank you to Baxter for the extra practice. Slow pace is way harder than fast pace for a non-dancer. I mean, I figure a slow pace is just like, you can move as little as possible. With Cove's hands in yours, you both made your mark on the dance floor and gave the crowd a show. The two of you gallivanted across the floor, hearts pounding and expressions bright. Betty sweating? Probably. Eventually, Cove was able to get into the flow. His body relaxed, and you could see the confidence slowly ease into him. Softly, he took a moment to speak to you. This is the first moment to ourselves since we've arrived. Cove clearly was grateful for the chance to finally talk to you. You're stunning. You too. He truly looked divine in his suit. Cove flushed a light rosy pink and beamed at you. That said, he looks good. He needs a bow tie. A bow tie would have absolutely completed the look. Just realizing that he has no tie. A bow tie would have absolutely completed the look on, I feel. Don't let those hips get too close. This makes me think of that night at the summer soiree. Cove let out a stuttering laugh. His face went through a roller coaster of emotions before settling on amused. I hope that I'm at least a better dancer now than I was then. But
Me too.
honestly, I was thinking about that too. I remember exactly how it felt dancing with you years ago. I had a lot of hopes then. A pink bow tie that matches flowers? Exactly. Cove likes to keep it casual. And it is a beach, so I wanted it to last forever, but I also desperately wanted to skip ahead so that I'd know what things would be like for us in the future. And now we're actually here. We made it. Cove sighed dreamily as he looked into your eyes. Thank God the ceremony is over and we can just be married now. Not that the wedding is bad. He winced as soon as he realized how his words sounded. He shook his head. I just kept thinking that I'd ruined something or something terrible would happen. At this point, a truck full of apples could come through and destroy dinner, and I wouldn't care. I'm touched that you wouldn't get depressed over missing out on a meal. You pictured him sulking, sad that he didn't get any wedding cake. Then the music reached the bridge of the song with complex choreography. Both of you had to focus more on the dance. That stopped your conversation in its tracks. The two of you became absorbed into dancing once more, as the song's end grew closer and closer. The final note was struck, and I'm dipping Cove. Of course I'm dipping Cove. We're all agreed, right? We're all agreed that the way to end the dance is with me dipping Cove. The dance ended with you dipping Cove. Cove had to bend his knees to help with the dip due to the height difference between you two. You made it work, though. Cove's lips brushed over your ear. You're a really good partner. Are they going to do the cha-cha slide at the reception? No idea. Depends. Is that song copyrighted? If the song's copyrighted, then it's probably not happening on this video. Your face felt hot, and it wasn't only from the dancing. Cove is submissive and dippable? Exactly. You heard a clap that steadily transformed into wild applause. Turning to face the crowd, you looked over your friends and family cheering. Dipping him in ranch? When I dip, you dip, we dip. You did your own mini celebration dance to mark your success. Gotta have fun. Your arms pumped in the air, and you wiggled your hips in a happy shimmy. You jumped back around to see Cove. He had a smile wide on his face. Cove continued to watch you rather than switching his attention to the guests. He twisted his wedding band bashfully around his finger. With the first dance done, you both left the open floor to join the others and properly greet your seated guests. Okay, we didn't let the wedding crashers ruin the vibe? Yep. Cove offered you his arm to take once more. You took his hand instead. You reached out to thread your fingers with his. Cove shivered from the feeling, having not been prepared for your palm to slide against his skin. But after that, he gladly let you hold on, giving an affectionate squeeze. It is a hold that could not easily be broken. Physically and legally linked to the other, you and Cove went forward as one. After only a few strides, you'd arrived at the nearest table in the arrangement. It had close family all the way around, including your mom and ma. The two had scooted their chairs closer and were eagerly whispering to one another, trading words of excitement back and forth. Feeling awkward about having to interrupt, though realizing there's no reason to feel that way, Cove cleared his throat to announce your and his presence.
Hey.
Hi. Snapping out of their private fervor, your parents turned the enthusiasm straight towards the two of you. Ooh, very pretty. Very pretty dresses. Also, both moms can still get it. You bent between them to give the two a hug from behind. The two leaned into your shoulders, returning the embrace. After keeping hold long enough to be warmed up by the shared body heat, you let go in order to stand up straight.
Hello.
They're matching floors? Yeah, I like that. I do like that. Hello again, kiddos! Ma folded her hands together on the table daintily, and followed Mom with her own greeting. Welcome. It's so good to have you here at the reception now. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
The ceremony was a memorable one. Those vows, huh? You also nailed the theming with that venue. It was truly unforgettable. The vows, yeah. Cove's vows that went on forever. Like, Jesus, dude, get to the point. All the effort paid off, then. Hearing people actually discuss the wedding as a real event, Cove became tongue-tied. Your maw watched over the both of you with a gaze as doting as it was knowing.
Have fun.
Have fun greeting everyone else. We'll be here if you need us. Yeah, we've still got to try the food while you're busy with your big day. Mom is truly a woman after Cove's heart. I love that blue flower dress for real though. Yeah, I do like that one. The pink one's nice too. They're both nice. They're both nice dresses. I don't think I'd mind having either one of those, or really. Yeah, the blue one is probably the better one. Think Vanna deserves a raise for dealing with that on her first day on the job. I mean, I'd give her a raise, but she's not getting paid, so... I appreciate everything. You're welcome, but we're happy to. Thanks again. Moms? There you go, Cove. Calling them moms. Aww. Ma's fingers squeezed together even more tightly, a visual representation of the restraint she was exerting, not to cheer inappropriately loudly. If there's a handbook, I'll take it. The only handbook is my balls. So much for that PG rating somebody was asking about earlier. While Ma attempted to not spook Cove after his tepid attempt to use the new title, Mom had no qualms saying something embarrassing. Woohoo! We got upgraded! It's about time! Pam. I do like that kind of relationship as well. It's always one of the more fun relationships, the one who's like, sort of like excited and kind of sometimes a bit trolly, and the other one who's just sort of long-suffering and did they save themselves for their wedding night? I'm going to go ahead and guess probably not. Cove's gaze immediately dropped to his feet, and his near-constant flush from the day reappeared. You gave your husband a reassuring pat on the arm, proud and pleased at his braveness. Okay, bye. Cove scuttled off, needing an escape, and you gave your parents a wave as you stuck by him. Goodbye. Good luck out there. Your and Cove's moms took their glasses of wine in hand and clinked them together celebratorily. To Jamie and Cove. To Jamie and Cove. As matching images of each other, they sipped the drink in good cheer. Located at the same table were Cove's parents. They were taking it easy until Cliff noticed you and Cove had eyes on him. His grin ramped up to 1,000 watts.
Hey!
It's our local celebrities of the day. Cliff folded his arms, self-satisfied. The wedding's all been going to plan, I'm pretty sure. But I'll keep watch still. And if there's anything else I can do, just give me a shout. Daddy looking... Daddy? Cove brightened in a similar way. His tone was full of affection for his father. Hi, Dad, and thanks. Walked around the table to give him a hug. It was tricky to weave through the space, but you were able to get in arm's reach of Cliff. He opened up his arms wide for you and then squeezed you back. My favorite golden retriever. I can see it. I can definitely see it, PK. Soon you had to get up from behind chairs and other guests, so you let Cliff go and nudged your way over to Cove again. Cliff slyly winked, waving you and Cove off.
Right.
I don't have to hog you. Everyone wants to see you. Okay, see you later. Bye, Dad. Your very own dad beamed with joy. His name is Cliff? Yep. Which, yeah. Not exactly a sunshine grumpy trip, but it's the kind of yeah. Yeah, it's always fun. Like, that is one of the more fun sort of relationship dynamics. Excitable and calm, like excitable person over here and calm person over here, and just the calm person trying to keep rein on the excitable person. Of course. I don't know how I ended with 2 kids as good as you. Cliff surveyed his 2 children proudly with his chest puffed out. I have to say. Well, actually, I'll say it a little later. You'll have to wait for my big speech. Here it comes. Get ready, Jamie. I would be an Afghan hound. What scenic name should our hypothetical child have? Inlet? But, swamp, but, we got a winner. But, but.
Come on.
Come on, sport, it's gonna be great. Now go on. Yeah, let's go that way. I love you. I love you too. Both of you. Then, finally, you ran at the table's edge and reached the side where Kira sat. She was patiently sipping at a steaming cup of coffee, placing it down when she noted it was time for the meet and greet with the 2 of you. Butt Holden? God damn it, Butt Holden! Yeah, that is amazing. Butt Holden. Damn, you got it. We got our name. We got our kid's name. Comic book.
Hey,
Hey, Mom. Hello, babies. Kira, looking a snack as always. Last name? I think I decided that we're keeping our last names. Like that we're each keeping our own last names. I believe is what we decided to do. Hey, Jenna. Yeah, Jenna. There were some trolls in here earlier. We were having a really big troll problem earlier. So I modded Vanna to help out with it. I'm afraid it's already a mess. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty enough dress. Hello, babies. Yeah, leaned over to give her a hug. Obviously. It took some stretching, but you were able to gain enough access to Kira's space in order to give her a solid hug. She put her arms around your shoulders gladly. You shared that affectionate touch for a moment, and then shifted yourself back up.
thanks.
Thanks for coming. It's really nice to see you. It's fantastic to be here. This has been wonderful. Drunk, so happy to find this out. Also, that was a marvelous dance. Such an incredible way to make an entrance. Cove kicked the tip of his shiny shoes at nothing in particular, and his shoulders shifted from side to side shyly. Cove was forever incapable of seeming like a full-grown man in front of his mom. Is anyone able to act like a full-grown man in front of their mom? Kira's brows bent as she looked on at him adoringly. But then she shut her eyes and brought out more energy.
See you soon.
I'll see the two of you again soon. You should go explore the rest of your exquisite reception. Oh, alright. We, probably should do that. Bye. Bye, Mom. She froze for a split second. Her hand flew to her mouth as her gaze landed back on you. Slowly, she lowered it, revealing the widest smile you'd ever seen on her face. Haven't I called her that before? Have I not called her Mom before? Yeah, she's Mom 3. Kira's looking a wooga, yeah. Like I said, she is looking a snack as always. Also, I could have sworn that I already called her Mom 3. In her gentlest tone, Kira cooed. Goodbye, baby. Cove was positively melting from happiness seeing you and your shared mom speak to one another that way. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I thought. Mom 3. I love you. Perfect, because I love you. The chick with the green hair is a mom. She is a mommy. In fact. Then you had to continue on to the next table in the seating arrangement. There were guests still waiting to see the both of you. With your aunt and uncle on Mom's side, they couldn't have been more pleased that you had found someone who made you as happy as Cove did. Right by was their daughter, your cousin, as well as your older sister. They were throwing looks, not so subtly waiting to speak their piece, but didn't interrupt your chat with other family. But when it was officially their turn, the ladies placed down glasses of juice and put on matching encouraged smiles. Cove shifted on his feet embarrassedly. They didn't even need to say anything. Yeah, they're both looking nice.